Hi, this is Jonathan Rosenhead, Jerusalem psychotherapist. This week's Torah and Psychology post for Rosh Hashanah is titled "Go with the Flow." We look at Rosh Hashanah and we understand that Rosh Hashanah is not just a new year; it's also a celebration of Bria Ha'olam, the moment when Hashem created the world and brought into action the world that we live in. But Bria Ha'olam is not just a single one-time moment that occurred many years ago and that we are celebrating and appreciate that Hashem created the world, but rather we understand that Hashem it constantly engages in this process of Bria Ha'olam. That He is, through His will, there is a constant renewal of creation. That there is a renewal of creation for the sake of continuation, and this is the paradox of time as viewed through the lens of Bria Ha'olam. That there is this constant opportunity and constant focus on each moment as being a renewal for the sake of being able to continue the world. And this is definitely an important message for Tshuva as we approach Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and also for mental health in general as well, that every moment is a new opportunity to start again. That if you're having a bad day, if things aren't going so well, you can stop and say, okay, now this is my moment, this is an opportunity to start afresh. I can renew, I can begin my day from now. And this is a renewal for the sake of continuation. And if we look at our life, the most essential element of our life is time. We literally cannot live without it. And we can view time as a metaphor, as the currency of our life, with the smallest denomination being a single moment. And the richest person is the person that uses all these single moments in a productive way, for Torah and for mitzvahs, and the poorest person is the one that does not use it in a productive way, does not perform Torah mitzvahs and wastes these moments, that these moments become a moment of bittul Torah. And indeed, the Gra, the Vilna Gaon, comments on the pasuk in Pirkei Avos. It says, "V'lifnei mi ata atid l'ten din v'cheshbon." In front, before whom are you going to have judgment? And this is definitely appropriate, obviously, for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, when Hashem is going to judge us for the way that we use our time. And the Vilna Gaon comments on the tautology in the pasuk of din v'cheshbon, which both words mean judgment or giving an account. So why do we need both words in the same pasuk? And he says because that din relates to the actual individual aveira that was performed. There will be judgment on that action, on that aveira. But cheshbon is more, as we said, it's almost like an account, a calculation, the currency of our life, of time. How did we use our time? And every moment that we didn't use for Torah and for mitzvahs in a productive way is an aveira. And there's an aveira of bittul Torah, and there'll be an account, a judgment for that as well. So we have two different aspects or dimensions of the judgment. One is din for the individual aveira, and one is cheshbon for the way that we use our moments. And indeed, also in the Sefer Birchas Shmuel of Rav Baruch Ber Leibowitz in Kiddushin, at the back there's a tshuva where he comments on these and he looks at these concepts of Talmud Torah, of bittul Torah, and when, if, and how it is possible and to engage in other activities such as work, and that won't be at the expense or that won't be that there will be an aveira of bittul Torah. How is it possible to keep this balance of Talmud Torah and using all our moments in a productive way, and also being engaged in other activities without there being this cheshbon, without there being this account for the bittul Torah and the waste of the moments? And unfortunately, it can be difficult for us to appreciate each moment, to understand and to be focused on the value and the immense value of each individual moment, that Hashem uses each individual moment for recreation and for Bria Ha'olam, and so too we have the opportunity for Bria Ha'olam on our own individual personal level, to use each individual moment in a productive way for renewal. And we waste our time, we waste this moment, and we're not focused. And from a psychological perspective, there is an understanding of how emotions influence our perception of time, for good or for bad, whether time goes quickly or time goes slowly, and how we feel emotionally will warp or change our perception of time. And I'm going to look at hopefully present a positive message here, going into Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and the new year as well, that there's this phrase which has been coined in psychology, which is flow. And flow is when a person is engaged in an activity which is so enjoyable, and you immerse yourself within this activity, that your mind almost disengages from any sense of time. And I'm sure there are you can think of times and think of situations where this has happened, where you've been in the flow, you've gone with the flow, that you're really engaged in something which is tapping into your skills and your talents, and you really feel a sense of purpose and growth and development from it. And this is when there is almost no sense of time, just sort of passes. There's a fluidity of time that just passes without having a direct, precise recognition of the measurement of time and the passage of time. And this is what the psychologists view, certainly from a positive psychologist sense, that flow is an optimum experience, the sense of ecstasy, the sense of really feeling that you're being productive and engaged in something which is so enjoyable that time doesn't matter. Now, certainly there's a relationship between flow, engaging in flow, and happiness. And how a person brings about flow or engages in flow is a balance between the skill and the difficulty. That something shouldn't be too difficult, because that will induce anxiety, and it also shouldn't be too easy in the sense that it creates boredom. We want to find a balance between the challenge and the skill, and that it will push you to really try to improve and do better and better, and it gives you the sense of achievement. And through this, you will engage in this flow moment of being in the flow, and it will create a sense of happiness, enjoyment, and growth. And this really is the message, hopefully, for Rosh Hashanah and going with the new year, to appreciate how every single moment has an immense value, that when you're engaged in flow, every moment is a pleasure, every moment is enjoyable, and has an immense value of creation and continuation and growth. And this is the bracha, hopefully, for the new year, to go with the flow. Have a great Shabbos, Shana Tova, and keep well.